I'm just curious. If I'm a businessman, how
Sure.
can I make sure that my business appear, on the first search engine? Yeah.
This is a really good question, and in some ways, maybe let me say, it's kind of something like, it's like a myth buster.
Okay.
So when I say that, I mean many people have a perception or an understanding that when you search on Google, this white section of search, which is the organic search results, not in the advertising section.
Okay, the free one, right?
That's right. So they have this question about, how can I get in that top spot?
Yeah, the first one.
That's right.
But you get lucky, right?
Well, it's a little bit more than luck.
Yeah, okay.
But one of the things that is a misperception is people think that they can buy that spot. And this is something that's really important to explain to people. When you are on...
So they cannot?
They cannot buy it. Okay. It's not for sale.
All right.
And this is really important. Many people...
But appear at the same time with the section of the
that's
advertising.
Correct. But what you
notice
is, in that section that is white, this is what's called organic or natural search results.
Okay.
In the section where you have the light yellow colours, this is clearly advertising. And it's separated out because we want to make sure any time that we speak to a consumer and we give them information, they understand very clearly what is organic or natural results and what are things that people are advertising, so that it's completely their choice if you click on a natural result or if you'd like to check out the advertising that's provided. The way that Google thinks about advertising is it's just information to answer a question that you're asking. And sometimes the best answer for a question is an ad. Now, if there is no business that meets the question that you're looking for, you won't see an ad, because we want to give you something that is relevant to your question. And to your point, how can a business get into that top spot? There's actually maybe 2 or 3 things I would say that are the key to doing this.
Okay.
The first thing, and this is a very simple example, let's say that your business is a dentist.
Okay, sure.
Now, if your business name is Dr. Smile, I'm sure in Vietnamese it's very cute and it's very easy to understand that's something to do with teeth.
Okay.
But if nowhere on your website do you describe your services as part of a dentist service, when someone is searching for your business and they search for the word dentist, or they search for the word braces, or they search for a service that is associated with a dentist, can they find your site? And if the answer is no, you're not actually helping people to discover you. So one thing is thinking about how can you make sure the information you provide on your site is relevant to the kind of questions people would ask to find your business.
So you have to understand the market, you have to
Absolutely.
do more research, right?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but also simple things like making sure on your website it's easy to find what kind of service you provide. It's easy for someone to find where is your business located. Something as simple as what are your opening and closing hours, so that when someone is searching, if they're on their mobile phone and you say I'm open until 7 o'clock at night, come on down, they know that actually right now when they're looking they could come to your business. That kind of really basic information, there are a lot of businesses in Vietnam that don't yet have that kind of representation online.
But if my business appears on the top search at the same time with the advertising section,
yes.
What's it different? I don't have to pay. What's the difference then?
For sure. So in some cases, yes, you're right. A business is able to appear as the #1 result in the search results naturally, and they pay no money, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And in many ways, we say congratulations to them. But what I would say is, in addition to appearing in that space, for example, when someone is searching and they're searching for different types of questions that still relate to your business, many businesses have more than one type of product, for example. So you may not always be on the top of the search results. And of course, that's not necessarily the objective. For me, it's much more important as a business owner that when a customer is looking for what I do and what I do well, that's when they find me. I think from an advertising perspective, the other thing I would say that is the difference, I want to know, especially if I'm a small business, I don't have a huge advertising budget.
Okay.
So I want to know, where does all my dollars go, or my dong? I want to know
you can keep
when
track of it too,
exactly.
Right?
So being able to measure every dollar or every dong that I put into advertising, how many people visit my site? How many people call my phone number? How many people come and visit my shop? And how many of those turn into sales? So if I can say I'm spending this much money and this is what I get back. So I walked down this street and I found this wonderful little cafe.
Yeah, you tell them
you know,
too, right?
Absolutely.
Please go there.
But I find this small, very unassuming place, and it was a wonderful experience. But if I had not walked down that street, I might never know it was there. The difference with the internet is it's like virtual word of mouth. So you take this experience of one person saying to another person, hey, I found this place, and you turn that into something where not just one-to-one, but one-to-many. So you can say, hey, I have this great little coffee shop. I can post photographs of that coffee shop. I can say to people, I have a special on today, and if you come in at this time, this is what you can get. So you can help drive foot traffic. And I think this is one thing that in some ways many businesses don't yet understand, if I may say so. A lot of people think to do business on the internet just means e-commerce. But actually, even today in the 21st century, the majority of business that takes place, it still happens offline.
Okay.
And you know, we were talking about a small coffee shop before. Even if I find the coffee shop online, even if I find it on my phone or on my desktop, I'm going to physically drink a coffee in the shop. It's not going to, the transaction is not going to happen on the internet, but the internet can play a role in helping me find that business, in helping me get to it, and helping to me understand why is this a great flavoured coffee, or if they have some kind of special food or a cupcake, for example. But that information might help my decision to say I'm going to this shop instead of the other one. So even though the monetary transaction, to your point about how do I make money, the transaction happens offline, but the internet plays a role in attracting people to your business.
Okay. And I mean, you don't have office here in Vietnam, do you? So how can Vietnamese businesses can, contact and, do business with Google directly?
Sure. So one of the things I would say is all of our services have an element that's called self-service. So if, for example, you go to google.com.vn, there is a link that you can click to ask about advertising with Google. There's also a number of websites that you can go to if you have questions about specific advertising products of Google. So you can find a lot of this just by searching. In addition to that, we have a call center where we have Vietnamese staff who are
Awesome.
available.
Great.
And we also have partners in Vietnam who are local businesses, and they play a role almost like a consultant to a small or big business who has a question about how can I come up with a strategy to be successful online.
So for Google's strategy, what is Vietnam's market, what's the role of Vietnam's market right now?
So I think there's two ways to answer that question. There's looking at it from a very macro level in terms of the big picture, and there's looking at it very specifically to the country. So maybe let me start with the big picture. So when you think about what is Google's objective, let's say on a global scale, when we talk about Google as an organization. So a lot of people don't know this, but actually when we were first established, when we were founded, Google's objective was to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So thinking about the world's information, it's a lot of information, and a lot of it is offline. It's not just text. It's poetry, it's books, it's music, it's videos, it's all kinds of information that right now might be not somewhere that is easily accessible for many people. It's almost like if you think about, and I'm sure that you still remember this, we are the right generation. When I was a university student, I spent a lot of time in the library. And if I couldn't go into the library and find the book that I needed for my assignment, for example, then I would be at a disadvantage because I didn't have that information. But now a lot of books, a lot of research, a lot of text is available on the internet. So if I'm a university student in Cantor, for example,
life easier.
Well, it makes life easier, but it gives everybody the same opportunity. And I think that idea about universal access, everybody, no matter if you're a male or a female, if you are Asian or you are a different nationality, whatever your religion is or your economic background, you should be able to find the same information. That's one thing. But finding the information and making sure it's useful to people, that's a different challenge. And I think that's something that we're excited about, trying to meet that need for people. Because it's as much about how do we help a student find something for their homework as how do we help a business connect with a customer and be able to grow.
You spent quite some time in Vietnam and learned Vietnamese. I mean, what is your impression about, let's say, the business environment?
So, I mean, the first thing I would say is it's wonderful to work in Vietnam. I think I'm always very energized when I speak to Vietnamese businesses and Vietnamese consumers as well. I think there is a very natural and very well-established sense of entrepreneurship. People are willing to work very hard. They're willing to look at ways to make their life and the lives of their loved ones much better. And in that sense, I think Vietnamese are very open to looking at ways to become more competitive, to looking at ways to improve their lives, ways to enhance their education, to get access to information. You might be interested to know, one of the number one things Vietnamese do on the internet is they read news. So they're looking for knowledge, they're looking for information that can help them make decisions, that can help them make better business decisions, for example. That's a really positive place to be in. And I think it means that the internet has an opportunity to contribute to the continued growth of the country.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I hope to see you next time.
You're so very welcome.
Thank you so much. Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của chị Amy Kunropanya, là giám đốc truyền thông và đối ngoại của Google châu Á Thái Bình Dương, về những thông tin về Google, chiến lược của Google, cũng như là các phương thức để các doanh nghiệp có thể phát triển kinh doanh sử dụng công cụ tìm kiếm của Google và công cụ tìm kiếm quảng cáo trên mạng. Đến đây thì chương trình xin được phép được khép lại. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên trang web smartmoneyfpnc.com hoặc truy cập vào trang facebook.com/đồng tiền thông minh. Cảm ơn quý vị đã quan tâm theo dõi chương trình và hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong những chương trình kỳ sau.